Good evening, everyone, and welcome. We are Random Encounter Productions. I'm Cody Stone. With me tonight, we have
Matthew, and I'm playing Clever Stitch, the Tabaxi Arcane Archer.
I'm Andrew. I'm playing Grizz, the Dwarven Beastmaster Ranger.
Hi, I'm Tom, and I will be playing Navi, the half-elf fighter.
I love the air quotes. Hi, I'm the inventor of that little doohickey that helps you squeeze all the toothpaste out of the tube, Megan. And I'm playing Saride, the knowledge cleric.
Ooh.
And I'm Kez, and I'm playing Treasure Knight Crafter, the Tiefling Barbarian.
All right, welcome, everyone. This is Disasters and Danger. It is our D&D 5e high fantasy actual play game, and I am super excited to be here with you guys. If you are new friends, go ahead and let us know in the chat. We met a lot of people at MegaCon this past weekend, and I'm super excited to have that particular Herculean labor behind us as we go into we're in our Indian summer here. We're late summer, right? A couple of things to look forward to. So between now and basically through September, we're going to be trying out some new shows. We're going to be trying some one-shots. We're going to try to do some Multensian adventures. We might try to do some PvP tournaments if we can get the players together. But our shows will hit a more regular schedule back in October. So if you like shows that you see, if you want shows to continue, if you guys are on our Discord, keep your eyes peeled on the content pitches page. Everybody can go in there and suggest ideas or give us some. We'll have some emote reaction votes for shows that we're trying to find time slots for, that we're trying to test out, and all of that sort of stuff. So not just D&D, but D&D as well. And if you guys have ideas, that is the place for it all to go. Now, with that being said, I think we have our sponsor, Norse Foundry.
Yeah, Norse Foundry, you know them, you love them. You can get any and all dice and dice adjacent needs from them. You can get metal dice, you can get gemstone dice, you can get dice boxes, dice trays, dice bags, I think. Anything and everything that you want, you can get it there for all of you and your dice goblin friends. And not only can you get stuff there, but you can get it there for cheaper because we have a code REPRPG. That's REPRPG, the same as all of our socials, #plug. And you will get 15% off of your entire order, which whenever you're buying dice for all of your party, ends up being a decent chunk of change. So use REPRPG, again that's REPRPG, for 15% off of your entire order from our friends over at Norse Foundry.
Yeah. Awesome. So also we do have a couple of our friends that play on other channels, run their own channels, all that sort of stuff. So let's start with Andrew. Tell us about what you guys are up to, Easy to Spell.
Oh, yeah. Easy to Spell. We are currently on YouTube. But if you check out our channel in the next couple of weeks, we're going to be releasing a big recap and talk back for the first 17 episodes we've done, because we are going live again September 5th. It's Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Yeah, we're going to do it. I'm terrified, but I'm excited. They just brought peace to this Fey forest. There's a whole siege of another city that's going on from an elemental overlord. It's nuts. We're going live in the thick of things. So come hang out, check us out on YouTube, and then come hang out with us on twitch.tv/easy to spell, September 5th, 7 p.m. Central.
Awesome.
Eastern.
Yes. There. Yeah, okay. Time zones.
Yeah.
And Tom.
I am Tom, as you already know. I usually stream over on Wicked Game RPG. That's at Wicked Game RPG on all of the socials. We are currently running a really, really fun sort of short form campaign called The Lighthouse of Aesodos, where I play a definitely not a beefling, but a tiefling erotica novelist, essentially, and that is the class. Not wizard, absolutely not wizard. The class is erotica novelist. We also have a Beastmaster Ranger with a giant crab, and a debutante warlock who's only just finding out about her powers. It's so much fun. Come and check us out every Wednesday at 7 p.m. BST. So that's going to be what I'm trying to do quick math. That's going to be like 3 p.m. PST, I think, something like that. It'll be do the time zones yourself, but yeah, every Wednesday.
BST. What is British summertime?
Got it in one.
Nice. Okay. Summertime. All right.
Yeah.
I didn't know you guys named your time zones after Demi Lovato songs. Like I feel so sad for you now.
I feel better for that.
Yeah,
than,
right?
Daylight savings time.
There's a
To be fair, I
nuance
would
to
rather
summertime
Demi
sadness
Lovato.
that I didn't realize until just now.
Right?
Wow.
Right?
I wish I knew more Demi Lovato songs so that I could join in on the bit, but I don't. I'm sorry.
Awesome. I loved her in Eurovision, though. It was great. But
All right, guys. Any news from Lance Orlando, Kez?
Not currently. Lance Orlando is in the middle of our rehearsal season. We hope to see everybody as soon as our shows get underway. If you are looking to actually come visit us and see some of these live performances, one will be at Lady of the Lakes the first and second weekend of November. That is Jamestown Throwdown. And the second one will be at the Orlando Renaissance Fair. And that is the first weekend of December. And that is Renaissance Rumble.
Awesome. Very, very cool. Looking forward to those. All right, guys. Let's dig into it, shall we? Our adventure takes place in the lands of Lickdracht. They are lands of myth and legend, but more and more, they are lands of fate, lands of destiny, lands in which the threads of one's life are being woven, that's a better word for it, are being woven together by forces beyond their control. The lucky few find themselves either in the service to great arbiters of fate, or find themselves chosen by intelligent items, or having fallen to interesting relationships with mighty artifacts that all provide our heroes with a hint of control over their own destiny. But here in Western Lickdracht, even destiny bows before the might of the dragons. Our heroes, the Arquebuss, have come to Caerdion on personal quests, to be sure, but also at the behest of their most recently acquired ally, the Black King of the Dwarves, recently reawakened after a near 1,000-year slumber. And fearing a renewed assault from the dragons that once drove him underground and decimated his people of dwarves and giants, he has enlisted the Arquebuss to research and develop defenses, to scout, gather information. And so they have come to the city of Caerdion, an ancient, arcane wonderland, a place where, as I've often described it, it is an Ivy League of magical development. It is a place that rises every morning, the 7 chimes of magical bells placed around the city, the harmony of which prevents the entrance of true draconic forms within the walls of Caerdion. It is a city that predates the modern civilizations that exist here, and hopefully now with some of the more personal tasks pushed to the side, our heroes can begin searching for either information or perhaps something useful in this coming battle with the dragons. So, we begin. Let's take this moment, Matthew, to decide what day is it.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I have to do it when you're here because
I know. I haven't been taking notes in so long, Cody. I'm sorry.
I know.
failed you.
It's okay. So for those of you that are new to Disasters in Danger, there is a calendar. I created one for our first campaign. It is a very intricate calendar. I try to keep up with it, but we have done a couple of time skips recently. So I think we need to just kind of repick a day here. You guys had left in the month of Traveler, beginning of the month of Traveler. It is about a month for you guys to travel from the House of Shields to the city of Caerdion. And you guys have been here, I would say, at least 10 to 12 days in Caerdion.
We were here for like a month while Screebers was recovering, weren't we?
2 weeks. I thought you were here 2 weeks, and then we've done maybe a week of adventuring since.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Okay, so let's say we are in the last week of we finished Traveler, did the Traveling in Traveler. That's why I named it that. Good job, Cody. So this is the last week of Numenera. So let's call it the 24th of Numenera. Okay. So summer is fast approaching, and that is where we are. That is where we are picking up. I will say it's maybe the next day since the events that took place with Tauroth and Kazkoth had resolved. Some of you were present, Narvi and Clever Stitch. You, having wagered a portion of your own destiny or risked something of yourself, even though it wasn't ever claimed, even though the bidding really stayed between the brothers. The fact that Tauroth was dead. Oh, and Treasure, you were there too. I apologize. For some reason I thought you weren't, but that makes zero sense. So the three of you, even though none of it was claimed, there was definitely part of you that was potentially on the line. Narvi, you have an intimate understanding of this, having begun to leaf through those cards, and just through holding and touching and experiencing them, beginning to ever so slowly get a hint of what they are capable of doing. But for having risked that, you do remember and recognize the subtle changes and the differences in what you have experienced, primarily centered around Tauroth, and partly his personality, partly events and motivations, but those changes are mostly very small. The cards work to adjust things, but to change as little as possible, lest the plane of Mechanus become involved. So it has been a rough night, and it is a late morning. It is, in fact, probably nearing lunchtime, if not a solid midday. And so, what would you guys, who is up? What are you guys up to? Tauroth has excused himself. One, mourning his brother, I am absolutely sure, but two, sorting through a head full of confusion and memories. But with summer right around the corner, you guys know your time for personal matters is drawing very short. So, Who is up? Clever Stitch, what are you doing?
He has not been hanging around the group the night after the incident.
Sure. The incident.
Yes. But no, he was like, he kind of stuck around with Narvi until everybody, the other three, left the room.
Mm-hmm.
And then he, as politely as he could, excused himself from the group and left and stayed the night elsewhere. And so
Okay.
I think he is just now coming back to the hotel that we are all staying at.
Okay, so yeah, you're just now returning to the Little Empire. It is. I don't know that the Little Empire is ever truly busy, but it is busy for it.
Yeah.
So I think Frederick's running around, probably delivering food and clip-clopping.
Well, especially Grizz is there.
I actually think that Grizz being left alone in Little Empire for the last couple of days, he has probably fully commandeered their kitchen.
Okay, Grizz, roll me with advantage because you are a skilled cook. Roll me a persuasion check to see just how whether you have pissed them all off or whether they are somewhat endeared with your presence.
21.
Okay. Yeah. So the food goes a long way to making what is otherwise a confusing event of just this dwarf taking over. Far more palatable for them. Where's Benedict? Like, have you allowed Benedict into the kitchen as you are cooking?
I think I can't remember his name, but the waiter that was clip-clopping is now riding a badger from table to table.
Fantastic.
I
Yeah.
think Benedict is helping, just doing whatever he can. But
Good.
yeah.
On
And
board.
Grizz is currently trying to figure out one of those wands that emits the fire from the end and trying to use it as a creme brulee like torch.
Sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is the scene you return to, Clever Stitch, with Frederick, and I think at the insistence of the owner, they put like wooden sandals on Benedict's feet to make the clip clops, right? So he's kind of slide, you know, click clop, clip clop, clip clop, and like he slides sideways as he's not quite used to the shoes, but he is a good badger. He wants to help.
I love that. Is there any of my other party down in the dining hall room tavern thing?
Let's find out. Is anybody in the dining area?
So, I'm not sure it was necessarily mentioned the night before, but I think Narvi absolutely sort of followed the rest of the party kind of back to their hotel. In the true kind of like, if you're in Turkey and you feed one dog one time, it follows you for the rest of the trip, like the entirety of the rest of the way. It's that kind of feel. I don't think he followed you in. I think he would have just been sort of outside looking at the cards as you sort of walked past. So yeah. But I'm not sure. Again, I think he probably would have like watched Clever Stitch walk past and kind of maybe give a little bit of a nod and kind of go back to the cards.
Do you want to come inside? Or are you going to stay outside, or what's the plan?
Okay. And he kind of shrugs and sort of gets up into his sort of slouch and kind of like walks in behind you, kind of like watching through the like through his ridiculously dead fish eyes, watching everything that's going on inside. A fucking giant badger.
Good. If there's anybody else that's already sitting at a table, Clever Stitch will go join them.
Yeah, same here.
It sounds like Sarai, waving her hand down there, is either at a table or being joined currently by Treasure.
Yeah, I think we're all up.
I would hope so. It's almost noon. So.
Watch your tone. Some of us.
Man.
Okay.
It's been a long week for some of us.
Yeah.
Sarai, what are you wearing?
Oh my god, thank you. The top is Ralph Lauren. She's still in a skirt because she refuses to wear pants. So it's like this very gauzy dress, but over top it, it's very fine gold, like filigree work of a chest plate, with pauldrons and stuff. And the image that we're going off of is like Wonder Woman-esque greaves for her boots.
Okay.
And she has it's a little short for a quarterstaff, and it's made entirely out of metal. And you know what's funny is I found this image, and then I looked up pictures of my god, and had unknowingly picked a staff that is very reminiscent of the staff that she uses. So I think that's
Fate.
it's almost like destiny or fate. So it's black, except hers is black. So it's like this black wrought iron metal with this is hard to do with push to talk and not enough hands. It's essentially a spool, like on a spinning wheel. So it's got like a little bit of point to the top, not enough to like be a spear, but there's an open bit of globe in the middle, kinda, sort of.
Neat.
Make that work. So she's currently walking around in that. She has a few more like cuts and bruises on her because she's still not used to armor. But she's getting better.
It got better.
Oh, and she's in summer, so she's tan, golden hair. Yeah.
Cute.
Okay.
Treasure would have gone up to sit next to Sarai, absolutely gushing at how gorgeous she looks. She's really rocking this new armored look, and the summer just brings out the gold filigree. And just, how are you feeling? I know we didn't get to see you yesterday.
I'm all right. I passed out hard. Like, she didn't trance. She was asleep for like 16 hours straight. Yeah. So that was a little new. And Thozin's been helping me with my pieces and things. So it's all a lot. It's all a lot. But I'm glad that Grizz is all right. I think she'll look back at the kitchen.
He's currently like hitting somebody with a towel for getting too close to whatever he's working on.
Yeah, he's fine. He's fine. Yeah.
That looks like fine. And you're a hero, Sarai. Look at that.
I'm a hero because I saved the cook.
You're a hero because you saved someone. Doesn't matter if it's the cook or not.
Ouch. It's a little early for that, don't you think? I realized that I couldn't bring anyone back without a god's help, but...
Listen, you're a hero every other day. There's been days that I barely made it out of a scrap by the skin of my teeth, and the only reason I made it out of there was because of you in the first place. God or no God.
Thank you, Treasure. It's very nice. Thank you.
And now,
How are you
between us,
doing?
it's been a lot. It's been a lot, you know? I'm okay. It's been a lot to swallow. Talroth's been trying to wrap his mind around everything.
Sure. She's confused. She doesn't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, have Talroth or Treasure talked to anybody about what happened last night?
I doubt Talroth had the opportunity or the mindset to. So unless he's watching and explicitly counteracts whatever I just said, I'm gonna say Talroth probably not. He's probably in a rough mental state. Treasure.
No, she was going to tell Sarai during all this, just kind of like lean in and whisper, well, we found his brother, and it wasn't good. He ran into the mind flayers before we did.
Oh, all right.
Sarai, as far as you understand, that was known and part of how you guys found the Mind Flayer nest the second time through. That this is you're kind of confused why she's telling you information you already have.
I know it's a lot, and I hope that Talroth is all right. He's lucky to have a friend like you, to take care of him.
Well, we're lucky to have you all the way through to take care of us.
That's very kind. Thank you.
And between us, you look way better than Dame Helen Mirren over there.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Oh wait, who has Helen Mirren? No one. She's gone.
Olaroon.
Look at me. I'm the Helen Mirren now.
I'm the Helen Mirren now.
Thank you. That's very kind. How's Bloodbunner doing?
Grumpy.
Oh, and actually, she'll look over. I'm assuming it's on her back. Oh, sorry. Excuse me. Good morning, sir. Thank you so much for all of your hard work. If there's ever anything that I could do for you, please let me know.
Yes. We will light the fires of revolution, and we will see that which defies us burn.
She will, when he says that, she'll light up a sacred flame in her hand and just nod and then extinguish it.
Yes.
And there it is, kids, my one martial spell. Have fun with that.
Hey.
Yeah, he's been him. He's definitely got more social, which is a good thing. There's been less yelling.
But that's good.
You're house training your axe.
Does he like
Clever
treats
Stitch,
or anything?
did you say that?
No. At this point, Clever Stitch is gonna like.
Did you say that? Make a dex save.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, okay, good.
It
wasn't an accent. I know.
Yeah.
You're good.
Good morning.
Morning, Stitch, and Treasure scoots over because I imagine this is like bench style seating when I think of it. So she scoots over so he can sit.
Navi has joined us, if you all don't mind. Sarai, this is Navi. We found him last night as we were on our way to go meet with Kaz.
Oh,
found-
God. Sorry. Good morning.
We found the cards. And Navi kind of sits down.
He's quite nice. You'll get used to it. Just don't let him shake your hand. It's kind of wet and fishy.
I think as he sort of sits down, he's sort of looking directly at the vibrancy of Sarai and kind of like looks at the others and looks back and kind of goes, "Hello."
He's Elven, right? He's half Elven.
Yeah.
Okay, she'll slip into Elven and good morning. It's very nice to meet you. And if you did anything that helped my friends last night, I'm forever in your debt.
Well, the pleasure was all mine. To be honest, they helped me find something that I was looking for.
They're usually very good they're very good finders, like Hufflepuffs. Do you are you from the Feywild? You all right? You okay there, friend? Hello. Oh god.
No, I'm not. I don't think so.
That's probably for the best at this point.
I think, like, throughout all of this, the eye contact is very much kind of there the entire time, like very much on your eyes. There's as mentioned previously, there's something slightly uncanny valley about this poor creature. Something ever so slightly psychotic. What's it called? Sleep demon, sleep paralysis demon about him, and he kind of. And once he's sort of like said this, he kind of waits expectantly for you to say anything else, and then kind of like
I keep visualizing salad fingers.
Oh.
Yes. Just not green, very, very pallid, very pale, with sort of dark rings under his eyes. So yes, very much like salad fingers. Actually, now that I think about it, fuck. And he kind of like he looks at you and furrows a kind of a hairless brow and kind of nods a couple of times to himself and takes out the deck of cards again and kind of like. I think during the night he's been sort of like looking at each of the card and kind of studying it and trying to like really try and connect to it, and then if there's nothing from that one, he sort of goes to the next one and does the same, and it takes him a little bit of time to kind of like really study, and I think he goes back to that at the table.
Do I remember the deck, or did Kaz have the deck?
You remember the event surrounding Tauroth's deck back in
Cydia
ago.
This is not a new piece of equipment to me.
The specific deck is new. You can tell it is different than Tauroth's, but the existence of them in general is not news.
Graves, where's breakfast?
It's on its way. That's all right. One moment, lads. And he backs his way out of the kitchen with just like arms laden with the waiter thing, where it's the plate on the hand, plate on the forearm, plate like tucked against the chest. Comes in and he walks in. Wait, this stones, you're an upsetting one. And he slides everything out. I'll be back with drinks. He just turns around and walks back into the kitchen. Comes back a minute. Holding the tankers. Right. That's for you. Yeah, that's great. You lot, I keep turning up with interesting people. Let's say.
You know,
I'm
you were one
Grizz.
of our interesting people
Nice.
too, so I'd watch your mouth.
You keep meeting people that offend your sensibilities, and we're turning out fine. Let's say. Grizz, pleasure to meet you. For Narvi, who's never met Grizz before, is a short, stocky dwarf. He has like a close cut, like mohawk. His beard, which currently is covered with a hairnet. He has a really tightly braided beard. He has like a leather jerkin on, like leather armor, but it has all like the extra pockets and stuff that like a chef's coat has. It has the half collar and fold. The belt that crosses his chest has a large chef's knife attached to it. He has bracers that also have the handles of knives poking out, and then like loose, not very form-fitting like chef's pants. and then
Checkered.
yeah,
Absolutely checkered.
yeah, just very much. It looks like a combat-ready cook.
Perfect.
Yeah, and so he.
I think Navi sort of like shuffles the deck into an inside pocket, kind of does that half sort of stooped stand up of someone on a stool, or like on a bench kind of thing, and kind of gives you his hand as he stands. As I've said, he's very, very pale, entirely bald, half elf, with that's quite tall. Even with the stoop, he's probably sort of 5'7", 5'8", and you can tell that would grow. He wears fairly nondescript clothing, a sort of soft leather jacket with a small hood. You can see under all of the clothing that you can see on him, there is a slight sort of an extra layer of bandage that has evidently been sort of bandaged all the way. No weapons, but there is a sort of necklace or like a thong on his sort of around his neck with 2 coins and a small locket that sort of dangles from his neck, and he kind of extends a hand in a fairly weak kind of like he's got that sort of predatory movement apart from his hands, which just kind of fold out towards you and kind of like grip yours with strength.
I don't like this. I don't like this at all. It's a real pleasure to meet you.
And I sort of look over at Stitch, Clever Stitch, to see as though, like it's the kind of...
He's just gonna nod and then kind of look to Saride, nod, and look back.
Well, I brought enough for everyone, and so he just pushes the plates around, and it's just a smorgasbord, like a brunch buffet that Grizz has brought to the table.
Nice.
And help yourself, that's yeah.
Yeah.
She's gonna wait until Narvi eats because I want to see what this looks like.
Narvi takes a small plate and kind of sets it down in front of him, pours a bit of ale, and then takes the deck of cards and starts looking through the deck of cards, not having eaten anything so far.
I forget, just because Matthew has terrible memory. Did we... Because we didn't really get a chance to ask Narvi how long he's been in town, or if he, like, what he was looking for other than the cards. Did we? Like, we never got a chance.
You guys have had very little.
That's what I thought. Because it was kind of, hi, hello, do you know where this person is? Oh, the person that we're trying to chase is running away. Let's go right now.
Going now.
And then we're bringing a man back to life using fate itself. Oh, okay, cool. Okay, got it.
Must be Monday.
Must be Monday. Alright, so Navi, we are sort of a group that came here for reasons other than what we found you for. And we were planning on heading out soon. Probably sooner rather than later, to Dragonopolis. Have you ever heard of, or I assume you wouldn't have been to, but heard of the city?
He closes his eyes for a second and sort of furrows his brow and kind of goes, "No."
All right. How long have you been in Kerdaion? If you don't mind my asking.
Not long. Looking for guards. I found them.
And now?
Cody.
Yes.
May I May I make some form of check on? Essentially, I think Navi is trying to find any past information that could help him to answer this question. I don't know whether that's anything that you can help me with.
Yeah, absolutely. Roll me a first. Roll me a percentile.
Ooh, going straight for that.
Stream Deck. Got that. Stream Deck.
That is 87.
Okay. Let's see. 75. Okay. So, as Narvi is struggling to sort of find an answer, his fish hands slip, and his cards sort of flop onto the floor. Who's sitting next to Narvi? Not it. Not it. Okay.
Yeah.
Then the other two are
Either of
it.
us.
There you go.
Grizz and I have
like,
seen death. We're not doing this.
Grizz is sitting directly across from Narvi, and he leans over to Sarai and he's like, he's not eating anything. Well, he's not eating anything.
It's okay.
I assure you, during this time, Treasure has been kind of like with a fork dangling it in front of Narvi's mouth to see if anything happens.
What is this angler fish you guys brought home? I
He's
love
our
him.
friend.
I will die for him.
He's
But
our
what
friend.
the fuck, guys?
As the cards go scattering across the floor, as sometimes they are wont to do, a singular card falls face up. Clever Stitch, I'll say it probably falls on your side. He was sort of addressing you, so he probably angled ever so slightly with the fish hands in your direction. So as you kind of look down, and Narvi, you take a look too, trying to recollect what is the singular thing you know to be important to you at this moment. There is a card face up, and it is again a circular card, but in this one, Clever Stitch, and you were paying pretty good attention last night. Everybody was. There is no dichotomy to this card. There is, whereas when the game is usually played, there's kind of a yin yang, like two potential events, right? A face up and upright and inverted tarot card sort of styling to them, except for this one. This one has a clear depiction of Narvi on his knees, his wrists tied out, his hands once more in this flopped position, and blood dripping from them onto the floor in what is a near ocean-like depiction into the foreground. In the background, you see three somewhat shadowed figures, and like a GIF or like a kind of like a holographic card, right? When you turn it, you get just three bits of movement. You know what I mean? There is a fey figure, Eladrin perhaps, or more, that is seen cutting, applying the cuts on Narvi's wrists. It is near Dryad, or the nature is infused in this figure. and other than that, you can see just sort of these stag-like horns in the shadow of their silhouette. When they come forward, the hair is green in the way fresh leaves and regrown grass are green. It is the most colorful you have seen one of these cards, and it's almost as though all the color drains out of Narvi into the surrounding bit of the card. The other two shadowed figures, one of them seems to be hooded, just from, you can tell from the silhouette, and the third one is large. They're not in a row; they're in a stack. So there's the biggest one, the stag head, and then the hooded figure closest. But in the GIF, right, the stag head comes to the front, performs the two cuts, and then he's placed back.
So, sorry, just for clarity's sake, do I see this as well as?
Yes, you do. Yeah, yes, you do.
And I think it is entirely up to you, to be quite honest, Cody, as to whether this stirs a kind of a response from Na'vi to a certain extent. I think, like,
make a wisdom saving throw.
Excellent, thank you. Oh, no. Oh God, oh Cody, no. That was a 4.
A 4. Yeah, you are under the frightened condition. You cannot go closer to that card. In fact, Narvi's eyes sort of roll up in his head, and he jumps to his feet. The chair comes stumbling back across the floor, and he begins to back away in horror.
Clever Stitch will reach for the card and grab it.
Yeah, as when you pick it up, like it's there.
No,
yeah.
I mean, just to be able to, like, and he'll kind of like hold it, and not, like, obviously not motioning it forward, like, Garen. But no, just back ye beast, back to whence you came. But no, he'll, like, it's he'll just kind of like put it back on the table.
Sure. So like the whole deck fell, so you just kind of collect all of it up.
Yeah.
Once the card's sort of safely tucked back in the deck, Narvi, you're slowly beginning to regain some control.
Yeah. Okay. I think during my time up, stood up, you see sort of like motes of dust start to kind of like start to swirl slightly around Na'vi as you can sort of see his kind of hands kind of like fidgeting slightly and like shaking, and they are alert now. They are like fully kind of as the deck is kind of reshuffled, the dust sort of floats to the floor again, and he kind of looks from the cards to all of you and says, I'm sorry. I don't remember. I don't.
No need to be sorry. Calm yourself. You're fine. What do you remember? What do you know?
Kind of sort of looks at you for a second with that like flat stare, almost looking through you, and kind of he says, cold. Dark. and then this town.
All right.
Treasure's gonna right his chair, like just help him sit down, and she's gonna give him a glass of water, but she's gonna hold on to that glass so that if he's shaking, he doesn't just drop it.
So Rice's like nodding, and she's gonna reach out to start to give him bardic inspiration, and then remember that she can't, and we'll just put her hand on his if he's close enough.
Yeah, I think.
And like nod at Treasure.
Yeah, I think I think Navi's hands are on the table. As he sort of sits down, they kind of go onto the table and sit there, palms splayed sort of upwards. He, absolutely no offense, but he kind of ignores the glass of water and says to you all, I don't know what happened before. I did know I needed to find the deck. I found the deck. What happens now is not written.
If clearly what you saw just now frightened you, however, I apologize if you didn't want me to see it, but it was kind of there. Part of it. Our plans for now are to go to Dragonopolis, but after this, some of us at least, I don't want to speak for everybody, but there's some things to do in the Feywild and problems to solve there after probably after this. And what little I could see from that deck just now might have a connection there. If you would like to come along.
And he thinks about it for a few moments and then says, you helped me find the cards. I can help you in return. If you would have me.
He'll look to the rest of everybody here.
On one condition.
So
And she'll
look to
like
you.
kind of lean in. You need to eat something.
Navi looks down at the plate of food and looks up at Grizz,
It was
gave
just intent. Like as soon as it's like eat something, he's like,
who gave him the food. I think he what is the food? Sorry, remind me of the
like a brunch buffet. You've got a frittata in front of you.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think he will sort of like pick a corner of the frittata off. Sounds so much better in the American accent than the British. The frittata, and kind of puts it in his mouth.
Yeah. And chew it.
And kind of
I'm
chew.
about to be really. You watch your next words very carefully, lad.
If he doesn't want to eat,
He wants
maybe
to
we
eat.
don't make him eat.
You wait.
I think
This is
what I'd like to
important.
do- what I'd like to do, Cody, is I'd like to pretend. I'd fully like to. I'd like to push it to the side of my mouth and kind of open the mouth.
Make a sleight of hand check.
Slide
Excellent.
a mouth check.
Yeah.
Right up the mouth. Do this at advantage. That's a nat 20. That was a 20. 23.
What is your
I'm-
passive perception? Grizz?
Passive perception's 19.
You,
I was gonna say am I still at the -4 as well from the resurrection ritual, right? Or
so
not
we're
ritual,
gonna say
but-
it's been enough days for you to.
Okay.
So it probably would have taken the days necessary for Saride to reacclimate. So I know I probably said like Tauros thing was immediately the next day. I'm actually gonna put those days in there. Because otherwise, Grizz, we have to wait for Grizz, and we have to wait for Saride. So,
Okay. Wait. Yeah, I'm fine if he wants to come with us. Never trust anything that doesn't eat. That's or everything either exists to eat or be eaten. That's why. Yeah. All right. Yeah, you're good.
Can I do a check because performance pass to see if he actually swallowed or not? God, this is college all over again. All right.
Yeah.
make a
Don't ask a man if he's swallowed or not. Come on, that's rude.
first make an insight check, and Narvi make a deception check. Let's see if
Nice.
if you have a reason to doubt him.
Again, I am at advantage because of who I am.
Because of reasons.
That was a 15 plus 6, so 21.
21.
Okay, so yeah, go ahead and make
Hello,
the
new best friend, Fish Boy.
make a perception check. Saride.
25.
That beats the 23. Yeah, you're looking at him and you're kind of seeing there's a part of his cheek that bulges ever so slightly.
I know that trick. She'll make sure she gets his eyes and give him a wink.
He sort of looks at you and kind of the already very wide eyes kind of go a little bit wider and go. Says, this was good.
Grace, sorry. God, these fucking accents. I'm done now. Would you mind terribly if you showed me around your kitchen real quick? I had a question about bread. She's got to give him a chance to spit it out.
Yeah, they say, right, follow me. Yeah.
I find nothing
Grizz-
more soothing
Grizz-
than watching people make bread.
You're also interested in their butter, right? And he grabs like 2 rolls off the table as they leave, and he's just like eating.
Is he just eating out of a stick of butter?
No, I reached over and grabbed food off the table as he like led you to the kitchen.
I was gonna say, what is this Eldred
eating as he
being?
goes.
My God, no.
I think the elven word is keto, and he just takes
It's
a bite.
artisan.
Of butter.
While they're gone, Clever Stitch is gonna look to Narvi and also, no offense, but how good are you at? Because you were quite good at chasing somebody the other day, but in a fight, are you as capable there as you were chasing someone? Because we are going into Dragonopolis, the city of dragons, where they kill things that aren't dragons, I'm sure.
And he kind of like looks at you and tries to. He looks as though he's as he's taking the piece of frittata out of his mouth. He kind of like looks at you and goes, "I can fight. Would you like to see?"
Sure. He's still not wearing any, like, equipment, right? Like, he still doesn't have any equipment with him?
No.
Okay. Sure. Do you need, like, weapons and armor? Or are you a non-weapon wielding weirdo?
I think at that he kind of puts one hand sort of on the table, and you can sort of see the sort of motes of dust start to kind of like coalesce again. Similarly, kind of like all of the like kind of grime from the grain of the wood starts to sort of like come up and starts to form. And as he kind of brings his hand up, a sort of dagger is kind of in his fist, sort of like with the end in the table. There's this the dagger looks as though it's sort of been hewn out of like an incredibly sort of matte black sort of stone. It almost looks like kind of matte black obsidian kind of thing, with a number of sort of runes down the kind of the center point, and he kind of looks at you and not like in a kind of there's no kind of showing off or anything like that, and he kind of brings the hand up slightly and it becomes a mace that looks made of something fairly similar, this kind of like dark stone, it would seem, and he kind of brings it down and pops his hand, one hand on the other, yet again.
Neat. Can I do a Arcana check to see what just happened?
Sure. Yeah, go for it.
Treasure just slides the cinnamon rolls away from all of that.
Get that dust away from these cinnamon rolls. Ooh, that's a 21.
Yeah, I think you are familiar with this. In some ways, it reminds you of Olaron. Before he acquired Dawnbringer.
Oh, interesting. Okay, interesting. Got it. Neat. Huh. Alright. Well, looks like you don't need any weapons. Do you need armor? I think we have armor, or we can at least get some armor.
I am okay. Thank you ever so much. Kind of like looks as though he concentrated whilst he said that, as though to make sure that he got that correct. Thank you ever so much.
Right. And then he'll just start eating, because it is
kind of
breakfast.
looks down for a second and kind of looks back up and says, I apologize if my manner is not what you would expect from someone. I've not been around people for a while. I think perhaps I'm giving myself too much artistic license here, but since the moment of recognition from the card, there is a slight hint of kind of normalcy to him. And kind of he frowns ever so slightly and says, before there was nothing in my mind, no memory, nothing. There is more now. Enough for me to be able to thank you for what you've done. I am aware that I look and come across strange. But you stopped and you have spoken to me. And he kind of like he kind of looks at you again, sort of out of this trance, and kind of looks over to Treasure and kind of goes, yeah, well, and sort of hunkers down and starts to sort of self-consciously like flick through the cards again slightly.
It's all right. I mean, you know, you meet all sorts of people in this in this profession. You know, it's not really a profession, but this walk of life. So, you know, it is what it is. You learn to roll with the punches, and even though, you know, I joked earlier with Saride because she seemed shocked, as we all were, but you're all right.
And honestly, sir, you're calling yourself strange as you're sitting next to a giant snow leopard and a golden beefling that can be seen from halfway across the bazaar.
Sort of looks up and kind of there's like a shake of the shoulders as like almost a whisper of a chuckle kind of thing, and he kind of nods a couple of times and goes back to going through the cards for a second.
Chris, how are you feeling?
Feeling. It's difficult. Right, that's fine physically. A chance in the kitchen's put my mind at ease a bit.
I'm glad. That's good.
I know that, but I know that I owe you, and so
60 gold.
60 gold, right? And I haven't had a chance to pay it back. I realised that I kind of dragged you into my old mess with the mind flare business and all that. But if you lot will have me along, that's the Black King sent me to help, at least a little bit. So if you don't mind me tagging along, maybe eventually I'll find that 60 gold to pay back.
Maybe. I think.
You have to run it by the group. That's that Narvi character, and he's got a vote.
He is odd, but I think he's kind of sweet, really. You know, like
Seems all right. We'll see. He took one bite. The entire breakfast, he took a single bite. So, makes you wonder what he does eat.
I'm not sure. You may not want to spend too much time cooking for him, though.
We'll see. We'll see. He seems right enough.
I mean, no more so than the rest of us, I suppose.
Right. Yeah, you're right. And I haven't had a chance to really thank you for what you did, though. That's you have paid a price, I think. To me, that's we haven't known each other that long, and you have gone through some fundamental changes yourself.
Change is necessary, and it's harder for my kind to do. It happens so incrementally, we never feel it or really see it. We definitely don't learn from anything, but my whole existence, I've only been told that I was good for one thing. I was pretty, and that's it. And I've always
You're pretty.
I know I am, thank you. And that's not changed, but I never thought I was worth anything else, and I never thought the gods were real. Hell, I went to college with 2 of them. But I'm more than just my parents' daughter, and I wouldn't have found that if you hadn't helped me. So you don't owe me anything. Except the 60 gold. Don't think I fucking forgot. And
and the interest, you brought up the interest, and we'll do the math later. Stitch seems good at math, right? That's why you call him clever.
He's really
we'll
really
have
just
him
good
do
at
the
calendars.
arithmetics.
That's all he's good at.
Calendars. As I was saying, we'll have him do the arithmetics to figure out what all that nonsense is. How much I actually owe you.
But before you start getting a swollen head, I need you to know I didn't do this for you. I did it for Benedict.
You really gotta start pronouncing the T. It sounds like you're insulting my badger. Saying that he's Benedict.
Oh, really? I thought it was more like he has a good one. Anyway, yes, I will start putting.
He's
it
a
to you.
badger. Let's not get too hard. Like,
I was what I was up until about 48 hours ago. So it's going to be some growing
right.
pains
So
on this.
anything can happen, and he's gonna start walking around his hind legs, talking to people that haven't cast spells to talk to him, and you're gonna fall in love with the badger and Thosin, huh? Is that what you're? Because that's.
How dare you?
You're the one writing this
not a
fan fiction.
slut.
Right, can we get back to the butter, the food? That's you wanted to see the kitchens. Let's.
I did. Yep.
And it turns out they actually conjure the cow, and then we'll gradiate.
You guys rejoin each other, and for a moment or two, the breakfast is normal, at the very least. It's odd, for sure. You guys don't. None of you, I think, remember the last time you had a meal at a table that that anyone else looking would have passed for average. And as the food is finished and Benedict does his best to keep the floors clean and keep Frederick on top of his deliveries, your conversation turns towards the day and where you would like to begin.
So we need information, yeah? About Dragonopolis.
And of
Yes.
course, what to do if you run into a dragon. You know, besides run and scream.
Well, that does beg the question. What exactly is our plan once we get there? Are we going to fight them, or are we going to try to talk to them?
So that's the thing, right? Is that they were pissed at us for kicking them out of the forge, right? Which is why we heard tale that they were angry and probably coming. So do we don't really have the power to strike up a deal with them for shared custody of the forge anymore, with the Black King having taken it back over and all, right?
Right, but there is the issue of the game, and I think maybe they might be interested in that.
Yeah. Have Grizz and probably not Narvi. Sorry, Tom. Does is the game also like kind of known about in this section of the continent by anybody other than the dragons, since they have been sequestered?
Let's find
due
out.
to it?
Grizz, make me a history check. And how old is Grizz?
Grizz is probably like mid-50s, so he's a younger dwarf.
Okay.
I think. Like,
Cool.
yeah.
Awesome.
That is a dirty 20.
A dirty 20. Okay. So, Grizz, given that you were raised within the House of Shield, you do have some ties to Eastern Lickdrocht. At the very least, in a sort of bedtime stories, and a lot of history was destroyed when the Black King fell. But the story of his exodus from the east and why he left is told. So you have an inkling of the Great Game. You have an inkling that there are odd, not deities, but agents that one of which overtook the dwarven people of the of the Eastern Scale Mountains, I believe, and that the Black King, led their forces against him, and when it was found that they were lost, he led the exodus from the east to the west of the dwarves and the giants. So you understand vaguely how, at least in a distant way, at least in kind of a historical way, right? The way, I guess the way Americans learn about like the Revolution. You know what I mean? Like you have some understanding about it, and but it's widely taught in kind of a slightly overblown or dramatized way, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, you have at least a touchstone for it.
Okay.
Narvi, the mention of the great game doesn't do anything for you.
Yeah.
Sorry, bud.
Don't be.
Is it a good idea to unleash the dragons back upon the east?
I'm gonna say no to that. I'm gonna give a firm no on unleashing dragons in the east.
I mean, unleash is like a violent word.
And dragons are pretty violent. I think unleashed is kind of a good term here.
But I do agree with Stitch. We don't really have anything to bargain with, especially not with dragons. And then at the same time, we don't exactly have a force of nature to do much about them.
Says the force of nature.
But even with treasure, I'd rather not wage a war that even the game could not solidly win without just sequestering them and saying, "We won! You guys can't come over here. We win," But I also, I don't really know what to bargain with.
I have an idea. How about before we make a decision about what exactly we're going to do, let's do a little research into what exactly we're going to get ourselves into, so that then we've got some possibilities as to what we can even do.
Fair enough. Let's see.
So
To the library, but the actual library, not the bar library.
right.
Cody, I've
Yeah.
been running around town doing a lot of stupid for this past 2 weeks.
Yeah.
With Mordekainen's faithful pigeon. During all this rumor spreading, did I pick up anything useful out of like my own sheer dumb luck?
I'll tell you what. Roll me an investigation check first.
God, I hope I roll above a 10 today. Okay, a 19 altogether.
Okay. Roll me a percentile.
There's apparently a lot of pigeon rumor spreading.
Well, you and Sirach had nothing better to do. What did you expect you guys to do?
15, which that could be very good or very bad.
Ooh. A 13. I rolled under you. So you do get something here. Nothing specific about dragons, but you've gotten a pretty decent lay of the land as to where to find information, right? The southwestern district is the most natural, and near around there is the most religious place. The center of the town where the Cardaean United, I know it's an airline, I don't know why anymore. I didn't know why in the beginning. Where that is, definitely is the strongest arcana. You guys do have some points of contact there with Professor, what was his name? Asmendus? Oh, right.
Professor Iron Man.
Is he dead? Don't give me that you haven't checked bullshit, because I have been around. I would have checked.
So he's not dead. He's not dead.
Is he? Do you know what I'm asking? Is he fucked?
Well, actually, today is probably the day you guys have to deal with the.
Who's us? There are nurses in this place.
Okay.
Fine, I'll go. All right, then as we're having this conversation, she just goes, shit, and just grabs her spear and starts running out the room. Also, it's, what is the university called?
Oh, right. Asmendus.
What's the university called?
Cardian U.
What is it? Cardian United, where your education takes flight.
Hey.
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is. Treasure. So the central thing definitely would have history books. Oddly enough, the bar library you think would also have a fair amount of knowledge. It is, you've noticed, because they were the people that wouldn't let you in, you kept trying to go in, I have absolutely no doubt.
Oh yeah, in different costumes every day.
Every day. The elite of the city, as well as the next generation of upper crust, right, tend to frequent there, and these are top educators. This is a town. This is a sapiosexual town, right? This is a place where knowledge and wisdom and intelligence are extremely highly valued. So that seems to be kind of their private social club at the very least. You guys also do know that any sort of illicit research, you have a way to find a place into there, right? So you have 3 or 4 good points of contact that your previous adventures have kind of pre-built for you.
Well, and is this town run by, like, is Caradian run by the university? Or is there also a city council or mayor or whatever?
It seems to primarily, definitely the rest of the city popped up around the university, right?
Okay.
So, but what you find now is that, and Clever Stitch, you've had your ear to the ground pretty well, right? There is a council that none of them are on the council as like their main job. Right? They're all educators or administrators. If not in Cardian U, in these like offshoot colleges that exist for the other full spellcasting classes, essentially, right? For the druids and the clerics in the southwest, there is a bardic college here, although it is like the community school, so they don't even, it's the arts school.
That's where Jeff Winger comes from.
Yeah, exactly. And then in the center, right, sorcerers and wizards and artificers do the bulk of their research, and very much this was a city founded by the first races, right? We're talking dwarves and elves.
Gotcha.
Dwarves, elves, and dragons are the people that laid the foundations here. Before the small folk, before humans, before the mid breeds of tiefling, tiefling, and dragonborn and half dragon. Before any of that nonsense. When people woke up out of the mud, they're like, "Hey, all right, let's learn some magic."
Yeah.
So.
I got a question. Is there a chance that any of the people that we had saved from the Mind Flayers, whether it's our brain in the jar Frederick or any of the others, have a admissions card to get into the library?
Yeah. I mean, was Frederick the brain in the jar? He was.
Frederick was the brain in the jar that Treasure made friends with.
Yeah. I forgot who my waiter was then.
I think
knew
the
there
waiter was Patrick. Doesn't matter.
Dan. It's a new waiter today.
Frederick, Patrick.
Kyle.
Kyle.
The new one is Kyle.
New one is Kyle.
From what I saw, I think the last waiter has definitely taken the leave of absence.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
He put in his 2 weeks just in case Grizz ever came back.
yeah.
There it is. Yeah. So, yes. Well, Professor Asmendis will definitely have access to the library, as would his daughter Sarah. You can check in with the brain in the jar. It's been at least 4 or 5 days since that happened. Since you took the hospital a brain in a jar. And then there were all the other brains that you guys took out. When you fought the Mind Flayers, you guys were a little distracted by other things. Have you done anything in the meantime for the brains in the jars? I mean, it's been 5 days. You guys are pretty busy, though.
We fed them. Yeah, we fed them to
Yeah.
Narvi. Me and you on the same fucking page.
Luckily, Narvi was nowhere to be found for that one.
Treasure would have gone back, especially remembering Frederick, who she made friends with, and just brought the hospital this cart of brains.
Okay. All right.
Like, I have no idea how to fix this. This seems like it is above my pay grade and above what a band-aid can do, so...
Since this place is sapiosexual, is a brain in a jar the same thing as a dick in the box? Yes, thank you.
It's
Answer
a brain
the
in a
woman's
jar.
question, Cody.
Brain in a jar, baby.
So, there you go. Saride, you've run out of the Little Empire. Where are you headed?
Me and Grizz, wherever the fuck Asmendis is.
You think he might be at home. Unless you...
We took him somewhere. We specifically took him to a hospital or a somewhere that could start looking at him.
Okay. All right. I'll allow it. Yeah. You had dead people and were going through fate and class changes. You guys stopped thinking about Asmendis and Sarah real quick, which I completely understand. But let's be clear. Your focus was definitely elsewhere.
Yeah, then he's at his house.
So
I know where his house is.
you do know where his house is. Yeah, no, you took him to the hospital. You guys head there. As you make your way in, there is fewer people in the waiting room. As you guys make your way in, you know the receptionist now, at least through reputation, if not by name. Imnini.
Morning, Barbara.
Morning, Saride.
Oh shit, you're not Barbara. Sorry.
No, Imnini.
Hey, can you point us in the direction of Asmendis's room?
Right. She gives you the directions down the halls. And so as you take off at a sprint, you guys come bursting into the room, and
As Grizz and I Kramer.
Don't be a mind flayer. Don't be a mind flayer.
as you guys come bursting into the room, there is... What was the name of the doctor that specialized in head traumas?
That was that Arcanus Sidul?
Yes.
Or no?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. Arcanus Sidul. He is there, and Professor Asmendis is strapped down. Sarah is in the room. She has her Steel Defender owl, bird, hawk thing, kind of shining light, very much like a spotlight, on the professor. They're doing sort of visual checks. You see them kind of opening his eyes, and sitting on the bed on the chest of the strapped down Asmendis is Screebers, who is he's kind of doing this like whack-a-mole thing.
He's gonna be
on
fine.
his face. And you just hear Sirach, easy. I know what I'm doing. Actually, I'm not 100%, but I know when your skin bulges, it's bad. Stop it.
We're here to help.
He seems fine.
Oh,
Grace.
my friends, welcome back. It's been a eventful days. I'm afraid Professor Asmendis here is running out of time. Jeanette.
Sorry, I'm looking to see what I have that'll pull worms out of people.
The clamps. Give him the clamps.
The clamps.
Right. I left those in my room. Apologies.
I appreciate the sense of urgency you had, Will, telling us that. What goes and looks over at what Grizz walks over to see what Screebers is slapping.
Have you seen Evolution?
Yes, it's been a while, but
The scene with Orlando Jones where the bug is under his skin, crawling around. It's that.
you're talking the mummy scarabs.
Yes, the mummy scarabs.
Yeah.
Yes. That is a better.
Take the leg.
Yep. And there's multiples of them. And when Screebers kind of like catches one, it'll like go flat, and then he sees another one, and he starts. It's very much cat with a laser, kind of happening at this point. But what you realize is that they're not multiple ones. They're very much like tentacles, creeping out from like the back of his skull, and an octopus or a squid that is very much laid flat out across his back and is working its way over the front of his body.
All right, we need to flip him over, and she'll like get a hand under him and start to. I realize he's strapped down, so we're
Yes,
trying to do that under the straps.
we've done a preliminary assessment of the rear of his back. He's experiencing a symbiotic melding throughout his spinal cord. It is dangerous, to say the least, as far as removing this creature, but we've been able to keep it out of his mind. His physical brain remains unaltered, and currently that is our best delaying tactic, as it were. We've considered implanting his mind into one of the preservation tanks that Treasure has brought forth. Most of those minds were altered in some meaningful ways, and their capacity for independent thought was ruined, as it were.
Can I, if I put my hand on the back of his neck, can I feel the octopus head?
The head is not on the back of his neck, but when you put your hand there, at first you don't feel any. It doesn't feel different, but when it kind of moves, you feel it undulate. It's so you realize that, like, the entirety of the back of his neck, you're not touching his neck. You're touching essentially all nest of tentacles.
Phenomenal. But this is all connected to one organism that is attached to its brain.
hasn't made it to the brain yet, but it is attached to it.
But
Yes,
there's
yes,
one thing in there.
yes. One thing.
Hard same, Tom. Hard same. She's going to focus specifically on this thing. I'm just trying this.
Sure.
She's going to cast command at 5th level
Okay.
to flee.
Okay.
Wisdom save.
Hmm. Let's see. That is a 7. I don't think it's. What is your DC? I don't think
15.
Yeah, no, it doesn't have a +8 for sure. You're good, Tom. You get back when you can. So it begins to twist, and you can feel it starting to writhe and move away from you, because that is how the spell works, especially the command moment there. And Professor Asmundus does sort of open his mouth into a gut-wrenching and powerful scream. I'm just double-checking command. You have no need to cast it at a higher level, because that would just apply to more creatures. You're not telling more people to flee. So in the next 6 seconds, you see it rush sort of down his back, and immediately the blood from within begins to pool along his back, and wherever those kind of tentacles were and have begun to slip out, it comes writhing up out of his mouth.
Yeah, Grizz grabs it.
Yeah, so it is an octopus. It is actually, it's not terribly big by itself, but it can like spread out very thin. You know what I mean? And Screebers is there. And Professor Asmundus begins to seize. As Grizz, make me a. I need to make a check to hold on to it. So, you can either make a grappling check, or you can make a dexterity saving throw. Or if you think there's a better skill involved for this, I'll.
Animal handling.
Perfect. Take it.
18.
18. Okay.
Rolled a 9.
Okay. Yeah, you're able to kind of grab it, even though there are still some like hook tentacles kind of reaching into his mouth. The Professor Asmundus does begin to sort of seize a bit, and the doctor, he's tries to get him back on his back, and Screebers is there. So, right, I'd like you to make a medicine check with advantage, as you and Arcanus Idul, thank you, do your best to stabilize the professor.
Dirty 20.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You guys are able to get his breathing back under control. There's releasing some of the built up blood that is putting pressure on his spinal cord and on his brain, and get him to a stable place.
Does anybody watch Downton
Or
Abbey?
something.
No.
Does anyone watch Downton Abbey? When Lord Grantham's ulcer burst in the middle of a dinner, and he was cheersing, and then just like out of mid-sentence started vomiting blood on everybody. It was all over his wife. It was like the scene of Out of Extra. That's all I'm seeing right now. It's just, Sarita's just covered.
Nicely done, Sarai. You guys do successfully save Professor Asmendis from a threat of turning into a mind flayer that is not detailed anywhere in any of the books. Thanks, wizards. Really appreciate that. Even though it is
Seriously,
the
can I get a jar or something? I don't like. He's trying to get me.
Once it's out, it rapidly
Oh,
dies. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Thank you. We're gonna take a break. We're gonna be back at 9:30. You have saved the professor, and you guys can begin your dragon research upon our return. So we're gonna see what these guys get up to in just a few minutes. But until then, stay tuned. Welcome back, everybody. We are Random Encounter Productions. I'm Cody Stone. With me tonight, we have
Matthew, and I'm playing Clever Stitch, the arcane archer Tabaxi.
You're what?
muted.
So yeah. I'm Andrew. I'm playing Grizz, the dwarven cook, Beastmaster.
I'm Tom, and I am playing Navi, the sleep paralysis demon, and also half elf fighter.
Excuse me. Hi, I'm Chicken Wing, Hot Dog, and Bologna, Megan, and I'm playing Saride, the Eladrin. The fuck am I? Knowledge Cleric. Ha
And I'm Kez, and I'm playing Treasure Nightcrafter, the Tiefling Barbarian.
All right, guys. So, when we left off, you guys had just been able to prevent the transformation of Professor Asmendis from becoming a mind flayer.
Can I just say, like, covered in blood, she's gonna look at the Arcanist and just say, "Do you concur? You should have concurred."
Well, it's a good thing that I, in fact, do concur. All right.
Grizz looks at Sarad and goes, "He's being sarcastic, right? He's making a joke. Is he trying to make a joke?"
No idea.
I am very much known as the cut up around the hospital. And he
See, now
picks
that's
up-
funny.
He picks up the skull.
That's a good one. Looks at the little dead octopus and he's just holding, and just puts it into his pocket.
When calamari shows up, we all just surprisingly don't eat it. We don't know why, but we just
He's not gonna tell us. What are you talking about?
but none of us are feeling seafood that day.
This is gonna be Duragard jerky all over again, man.
No. As a couple of minutes after they left, as we were finishing up, I think Clever Stitch was going to have an aha moment about what we can look for, not necessarily as a bargaining chip, but as a research tangent.
Great.
Treasure and Navi, I have an idea, and I don't know if it's possible. However, so Kedian, anti-dragon, right? Can't be a dragon, can't fly over it as a dragon, nothing dragon. Do we think there's a way that we can convince Kedian to tell us how that works, and we can set it up at the forge? Maybe we steal a bell, set up some magic, buy a bell, whatever it is, however we want to do it. But because we don't really have anything to bargain with, we don't necessarily want to start a war. So what do we do other than murder all the dragons or unleash them upon the east? We
Put
just
up an
say-
electric fence?
Yeah, we say we don't make a decision and instead just make a safe haven, right?
It's honestly not a bad idea. I mean, dwarves are well known for building things, so if we get them the plans and the kind of things they would need to build something like that.
And we have we have the Eladrin and the Fey Elves in the Forge. So there's magic of both types, right? There's like natural, wild, chaos magic, and also building stone magic.
And isn't that the kind of people who made this city to begin with?
Yeah! And basically, you can just see the fucking red string, the conspiracy theories forming in Clever Stitch's head. Like, we might still have to, because I don't know exactly how long it would take to set it up, obviously, but so we might have to fend off a dragon or two.
I'd rather fend off a dragon or two than 200.
Right? That's my thought too.
I was actually going to go to the hospital to see if, because I got a little idea, Frederick was doing any better. And if he is, or if any of the other folks that we helped get back happen to have a library card they were willing to lend us, we might be able to get some of that information. Trust me, I've been trying to bust into that place all week.
Into a
It's got some-
library?
Library.
Interesting. Ew. All right.
I know they've got the good stuff there. Like, that's the place where all the high-end people went. There was like the desperate caffeine-deprived college students. There was the half-high art students. And then there was this place where you didn't go in there if you didn't smell like a million gold.
Gross.
Kind of look down at myself and kind of go, don't think I look like that.
Can spruce you up.
You don't have to look or smell like a million gold, Narvi, to be worth a million gold.
Doesn't know how to take that, kind of looks at you and kind of nods a second. Cody, in
Yes.
my time here searching for information, have I attained any sort of information that might be prudent to this? Whilst Navi has been sort of like watching the tennis match of this conversation with rapt kind of attention, is there, have there been any people that I've sort of come across in my travels that seem like they're notably kind of more learned, who may seem like they are more scribe slash kind of library functionary kind of role or anything like that on my travels?
Make a history check.
The answer can absolutely be no. History. That's okay. That's a 17. 12 plus 5.
Okay. Roll a percentile for me.
Yep. Oh, the irony of having proficiency in history.
And no worry.
48.
All right. Let's see how we do. 14. So, you know something, and what you know is this. You don't have a point of reference for somebody that has a library card, or at least you're not sure. But you do know, because you spent your days wandering into that seedy underground tavern whenever you could. That's where you have a stronger connection. And as you're here, Treasure described the library and who it's for and what it was. Some things begin to pop into your mind. Back in the underground, right? There was a variety of characters. They seem to be working together, and you're remembering them acquiring clothes. You're remembering them talking schedule. You remember them talking a wide variety of spells but you're not. You know some of them. Know of some of them at least. Make an Arcana check to sort that out.
Also +5. That's a 15. No, sort of 16. 11 +5.
Mostly abjuration spells, some alarms, right? Also some. I'm not exactly sure the school of magic, but things like Mordenkainen's Magnificent Mansion, right? Extra dimensional space spells. And floor plans. You remember them having floor plans. You remember them having schematics, and they were very secretive. These were the people that when Treasure and the rest of them walked in, very much like shuffled their stuff off and away. Only because you were there and you were very still and very kind of dead-eyed, did you glean some of these things. You're pretty sure that this group was planning some form of heist at the library.
Okay. And I would know this group sort of by sight if I were to.
You would absolutely know them by sight, but you've picked up one name.
Okay.
Raikkonen.
Okay, great. I think during this sort of conversation, my my hand just sort of slowly starts to kind of raise, and kind of like watching it happen. It's like,
Yes, Navi.
I think there might be another way in. The accent's gone. Some of the people from where we met, planning something. Perhaps if we could ally our skills with theirs, we could gain access without looking, and looks down again, 1 million gold.
All right.
Just a theory.
Yeah. All right. Shall we go get Saride and Grizz and see about making our way into the library? One way or another?
Okay. Sort of stretches out and kind of lumbers up to his feet and looks one way and looks the other and kind of looks back at you both and goes, where'd they go?
I don't know.
I just heard Sarai say something along the lines of "shit" and rush out the door, which
Go-
can
let's
honestly mean a lot of things.
Nods.
Grizz is my
Solemnly.
new bathroom buddy.
Nods solemnly and starts walking out the door.
Yeah. I'll throw whatever money on the table is necessary for breakfast. And
Benedict comes over and the server that's been riding him picks up, starts cleaning up.
Benedict. And he, Clever Stitch will look to the server. Can you get off of him for a minute? We kind of need him.
Yeah. Oh, all right. Yeah, I can do that.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Benedict.
Come on, Benedict. Can you find Grizz?
He seemed to understand Grizz.
Yep. Find Grizz. Go gadget, Benedict.
Um.
I think.
Oh yeah. With his advantage on perception, he got a natural 20 for sense of smell. So he is gonna bloodhound out Grizz. He knows Grizz. Yeah.
Fuck yes.
And so the Ranger's beast leads you guys to the hospital, and he insists on going in. He's not taking no for an answer. This
Hell
human,
yeah.
this black bear sized badger.
Hell yeah. It's best if you just let him through. We're trying to find Grizz and Saride. It's fine. And
Sure.
push it past.
Walking past you now, and
Pretty much, yeah.
yeah.
Treasure's just dragging along Narvi at this point.
Navi goes to the desk and goes, "Hello, my name is Navi." It's kind of just starts a conversation.
Sure, and the receptionist is like, "Oh, you're gonna have to wait. We have some other people ahead of you. But you know what?
No.
I'll see if I can fast track you in to be seen as soon as possible. Here, let's take your vitals." And she'll kind
He's
of.
fine. This is fine. This is his happy face. He's doing great.
She looks at Treasure like, are you sure? And she's like reaching for his neck to feel for a pulse.
Look, I think he kind of looks down and kind of like the looks down at the hand and kind of just dodges kind of out of the way.
Oh, all right,
Like,
okay. If you say so, yeah, that's well, nice to meet you, Navi. I'm Mimi.
looks at Treasure and goes, "Okay," and continues to walk towards where the badger went.
Oh, all right. You guys walk in. Benedict leads you in on, Saride and Grizz and Screebers. Everybody cleaning up the blood and things of the rest of it. Sarah is there tending to her dad. He is asleep. He's out. He's been through a lot. So it'll be a day or so before he's able to be worth anything in a conversation. But yeah, you guys are mostly cleaned up at this point. I would say, given the travel time it takes Benedict to sniff you out. So.
Benedict, what are you doing here? You're supposed to be working. Somebody's going to pay our bills.
And he kind of side thumps Clever Stitch.
We had to find you all one way or another, and it was going
Probably
to
more
be
important than.
Bloodhound Benedict or nothing.
Is everything all right?
So, yeah, we have a plan. We have an idea.
Plan is good.
Giant, anti-dragon, the Forge. Make it anti-dragon, then we don't have to start war or unleash dragons.
That sounds like a pretty good and well thought out plan. That's.
I mean, it's not, but, it's the, the beginning of a plan.
It's the beginning and end of a plan. You've figured out point A and point C.
For
Now
us,
we just
it's a
need question
masterpiece.
marks.
That's.
And in order to find out information, Navi, because we were thinking that we might have to go to the library, and apparently you need 1 million gold. And Navi knew of some people that might have a different way in if we ally ourselves with them temporarily.
Are we talking a heist?
Bro, I hope so.
You see, for the first time, like a sort of very thin-lipped smile start to come from Navi and goes,
Okay, I was wrong. That is his happy face.
Alert the nurse.
well,
away.
Arcanist Hadul,
Oh
Look,
fuck, we're right in front of people.
yeah, yeah, there you are.
Oh well.
So
I'll
Sarah
get
doesn't care, right? Whatever. But Arcanist Adul, but you guys have brought him brains in a jar and a dude eaten by a mind flare. Like you guys going on a heist is kind of the least of his worries. But he does find the medical anomaly of Narvi very interesting. He looks at Narvi and, are you always this color?
Oh my gosh, Arcanist Tadul, you can't just ask someone if they're always that color.
It's purely medical, I assure you.
I've heard that line before.
Oh no.
Arcanist Adul looks at you and goes, we have a very accomplished mental health ward if you need to speak with someone.
I think I'm fine.
It's not your fault.
I said I heard a line. I didn't say I fell for it.
No. You don't. It's not your fault. And he goes to hug Grizz.
Grizz just takes the hug. He's like, wait.
There. It's not your fault.
I don't know what this man looked like before, but he's 100% Robin Williams in Good Will Hunting now.
You're welcome. That's
Now I'd kind of like to see that mental health specialist.
I thought you
It was
might.
all right before, but yeah, that's it. I'll be outside, everybody. Come on, Benedict.
Oh, all right. Benedict follows you.
I think during the hug, Navi will
Narvi escapes.
Navi kind of like starts to back out and kind of goes, just goes, and then leaves.
Yeah, hospitals may not be the best place for Narvi. I'm gonna say that's not your favorite terrain, my dude.
Navi has realized that. No hospitals.
So you guys make your way out. Screever seems to have made his recovery. He is back on his feet at the very least. You guys make
Definitely happy to see him.
Hi.
How are you feeling, Screebers? You look a lot better.
I didn't have a squid in me, so you know.
That's definitely beneficial.
Yeah.
And Treasure takes a moment, squid in it. And then it hits her what Sarai ran out the door about.
Screepers took care of it. It's fine.
Not this time, but you know, I'm in the background doing this and that.
He has to go deliver a baby in the parking lot real quick. That'll come up in season 4.
Yep.
He's been going to the community college.
Yeah. Screepers is undeclared. He's too young to tie himself down. Don't you guys remember?
Pop.
Exactly. So you make your way back. You've regrouped. You make your way to, I guess, out on the street or maybe to a place. Where would you guys like to go? You want to talk about this in an alley? I mean, the hospital may not be the best place to plot your ill doings.
Oh. We could go either to an alley or we can try to go back to one of our rooms at the Little Empire.
All right.
So I think Navi was sort of like waiting outside for everyone else, and as he's doing so, I think he's kind of trying to recollect the signs that he has sort of gleaned over the past sort of few weeks about where this this underground sort of like bar happens to appear. I know you sort of spoke about the kind of the glyphs that were appearing. We had already also discussed that it was kind of by happenstance most of the time that Navi found himself there. But
Narvi did a better job following people than he did the signs.
Cool.
I believe that's the established canon of how he found it. But Clever Stitch, I'm sure, knows his way back there.
I think as we're all sort of amassing again, Navi kind of looks at you all and says, I've normally found the bar by following people. And it looks around and sort of says, doesn't look like these are the following types. But maybe we could try to find the bar. I know who we're looking for, but I don't know how to. Kind of looks around again and looks at you all again with a slightly helpless sort of face on splayed fish hands.
We can find it, I'm sure. And Clever Stitch will so that because like Saride is more magically inclined than he is in like a different kind of magic. He will prestidigitation just on. He'll grab a coin just to show her the arcane mark, kind of the same way that he did to get in. This is what we're looking for in order to find the bar. It's underground. It moves. Do we want to go there during the day, or because we went during the night, right? Is whenever we kind of
early evening, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so. And Navi, were you whenever you would go, was it just at night, or do they seem kind of active all the time?
Primarily, it's active at night. It would occasionally be open during the day, but that seemed to be very rare. Maybe once Narvi was in there during the day.
No, night. Yeah, you're right.
All right.
So we wait till nightfall and then go?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything you guys would like to discuss before going, or do you want to jump to the going?
I think I would give freely the information that I have, that in his stilted way, that the people we're looking for have spoken. I've heard them speak about sort of certain schools of magic. They've got blueprints. They have costumes. They have this, that, and the other. They are quite sort of cagey. But the person that we are looking for is Raikkonen, and that is kind of all the information that he has. But
Okay.
All right.
All right. You guys get your rest. You eat if you eat, and you don't if you don't. You make your way through the town in the earlier portions of the evening, and between Saride and Clever Stitch, you guys do find the establishment, right? And so,
were we able to take at least an hour?
Yes,
in that time,
you
like
can have a
when we
short
were eating,
rest.
resting?
Absolutely.
Okay. I want to take that chance to use my chef feat to make the treats that give anybody. So anybody that does eat, so not Narvi, but Clever Stitch, Saride, Treasure, and Grizz. If you want, he makes little fish pies.
Oh.
All right, and I believe those give you some temporary hit points.
Yes, 4 temporary hit points for anybody that eats it.
How long does it last?
I believe it is 8 hours.
Oh, damn.
Yep.
Like if I eat it, I will have those for 8 hours.
Yeah, the special treats last 8 hours after being made. Creature can use a bonus action to eat one of them to gain temporary hit points equal to your proficiency bonus, which is
So yeah, I mean, I'd say temporary hit points last until you take another rest, or until you gain until they're lost, or until you gain hit points that are temporary hit points that supersede them.
Yeah.
I think this time when you're passing them around, I think sorry, I think Navi does sort of mutter something about being gluten free.
He has a shellfish allergy.
fair enough. Sorry, I'll keep that in mind for next time.
Navi just became a gluten-free vegan who subsists purely on air, and Grizz is still gonna cook him something. I love this. This is brilliant.
I can only appreciate the length.
That's his white whale, man. Are you kidding?
Honestly.
Solely on air, you say?
So you guys do. It is not in the same place as it was last time. It is again in the back behind what initially looks to be sort of a stables area. You do make your way in. It is clearly an illusion that has been cast over the area. There is the doorman who does recognize you and actually forces you to pay for everybody this time. So
I got that for us.
there you go. Five gold. And the badger, so 6. There you go.
That's fine. That's fine.
fine.
I was cheeky the last time I was here. I can be good once in a while.
Did you forget to pick up your tips again? Slow learner.
You guys make your way in. It has the same layout as it did last time. It looks like the inside travels, and it is not it's not like a pop-up place. It does very much, extra dimensional sort of reestablish itself. Behind the bar, there is the flesh golem, the very extremely well made flesh golem. However, there is also the which you are pretty sure is their creator. Looks to be some form of you're not quite sure, but you know that they are magically inclined. It is a halfling, sort of very hyperactive, kind of bounding about, and is giving instructions to the bartender. And as you guys make your way in, you realize you're about the second group of people to have arrived. There is like a very old, not all his teeth are still there, gnome that is like at the end of the bar, and you're not sure if he just is stuck here forever or illusion, or you're not quite sure. But as you guys make your way in, you hear the kind of feet pitter and patter, and there's a slide of wood, and the halfling head kind of pops up over the bar, and she looks at you guys. Oh, right, you're the pretty new ones, aren't you? All right. What can I do for you?
An ale?
Sure. Yeah. And she'll look and already the flesh golem is about working the taps, and so she great business, 1 ale, all right, understood. And she kind of she goes back to what she's doing, You
Yeah,
guys,
I think immediately as we walked in, I probably sort of like veered off into like to where I usually sort of sit.
sure.
But
Grizz
What
leans
was
over to
the-
Sarai and goes, "Can you split me for an ale?"
Can I guess a bottle of wine and an ale, please?
Yeah, the flesh column will set about gathering those things.
Hey,
Serving,
thank you.
yeah,
Oh, that bottle's hers, and she is very. Ooh, no, 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 no. Okay.
he just grabbed the ale. Don't worry.
yeah.
It's just that it's so big because of his dwarf hands.
And reach up.
What was
bar.
the? I know that you said it earlier, but what was the name of the dude that we're looking for?
Raikkonen.
Raikkonen.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Question for you, actually. We are looking for one of my, and he will look to where Narvi went and just kind of, him over there. One of his friends, Raikkonen. Have you seen him around recently?
She as when you say Raikkonen, she sort of spits and like laughs, and it comes up out of her nose, and she's sitting there. Oh, oh, I hate when that happens. Oh, that's awful.
Well-
Right. All right, I have to see this. Who is this? All right, and she kicks over her stool and climbs back up, and him, and she points at Narvi. Is that who you said was Raikkonen's friend?
Acquaintance, friend.
Sure. Raikkonen
Yeah.
doesn't have friends, darling.
I mean, he is a friendly type.
I can tell. You get a lot further on this one if you're just honest with me, because that's not working.
Yeah. All right. We heard from Raikkonen's friend that Raikkonen is planning something, and we want in, and we want to find him and find more information.
Make a persuasion check.
During this time, Treasure wants to order some hard spirits.
Yeah, the flesh column absolutely is bartending with far more attentiveness and skill than her maker, right? Like she does her job well.
So I rolled an 18 for an 18.
For an 18. Okay. She looks you over, and you can see the wheels turning. And she... What's your name, hun?
Clever Stitch.
It's a good name. Do you live up to it?
Always.
Huh. Alright. And, looks like you've got quite the group here.
Yeah, you gotta have the right people for the right job.
Ain't that the truth? And, are they the right people?
Always.
Grizz is currently playing sort of tug of war with a piece of the leftover squid with Benedict.
Ew.
We look like the fucking Suicide Squad behind Stitch right now. Like, yeah.
Always the right tool.
And she sort of, uh-huh. All right. What does your friend know about Raikkonen?
that he's a bit cagey, but that he's been thorough in his planning so far. That he seems to have the pieces put together, but I'm not sure that he has the team put together for it. That's what we're bringing to the table, you see.
Yeah. Right.
What
And
what
she-
should I know about
she-
Raikkonen?
She sort of she turns for a moment, and she's not ignoring you. Like she gives you the hold on, and she walks back towards the back of the bar, and you see her open up a lower cabinet, and her body kind of blocks it, but there's clearly eldritch machinery that is underneath there, and she kind of does a couple of like little adjustments, right? And the bouncer on the far side sort of goes, "Boss, what you? Oh, right." And you just hear him sort of, "I hate this," and he gets sort of wall passed through the door, and it stones over, and the gnome at the end of the bar, you've realized, is frozen, and Benedict's frozen as well. I'd like the rest of you to make wisdom saving throws.
Ooh, you cheeky mom.
Not that one. Not that saving.
Can I do something before we have to make the saves real quick?
It depends on
Can
what it
I-
is.
Can I drop Beacon of Hope so that we get advantage or something on saves? On
You
wisdom
don't.
save?
This is a surprise. You don't know that
What a
there's
surprise. Okay.
anything dangerous happening. Yep. DC 17.
It's a dirty 20.
I'm gonna use Indomitable.
Great.
19 from Grizz.
That was an
Nice.
8.
24.
Oh, a natural 19 for an 18.
Nice.
Am I the last one to go?
Yes, you are.
Okay. Total 19?
Okay. Great. You guys all save, and when she turns around, she has like a wand, and she looks surprised, but she doesn't look like she's threatened. She's like, "Oh, maybe you all are the right group." All right. And she moves her stool back over to Clever Stitch. And so, you want to deal with Raikkonen. Well, I don't know how to tell you this, but Raikkonen only deals with the people he knows. And no offense, but he doesn't know you. In fact, Raikkonen's never set foot in this bar. But he does owe me a considerable amount of coin. Now, I think I can help get you onto Raikkonen's crew, if you're willing to do what it takes, which, looking at... And she kind of scans across your Suicide Squad group. At the look of you, I suspect you might be willing to. I know Raikkonen's been planning something, and I don't know what it is, but tried doing business with him in the past. Right bastard he is. Absolutely. And has a penchant for betraying his partners, at least once they've stopped being useful. So, he's made a fair number of enemies, but he's very good, plans very well, and his jobs always come through. Just depends on if he pays up or not. A lot of people find it worth it. And he does a lot of business west of the mountains. So, if I help get you onto Raikonen's crew, you'll pay me back what he owes out of what profit comes from this job. And if you get the chance to stab him in the throat, all the better.
Can I ask, before agreeing, exactly how much does he owe you?
8,000 coin.
I hope you're talking copper.
I wish.
Oh, I mean, we can guarantee that his portion of it goes to you, at least.
Absolutely. Trust me, if this is a Raikkonen job, you'll have the money to cover it.
Alright. Huh.
Now,
Interesting.
there's one thing I don't see among you. Gonna need a wizard.
Alright. We can figure that out.
Good. So, we'll need to make some arrangements for Raikonen's current crew to come indisposed over the next week. I know his timeline's coming short. And has to look like accidents or mishaps, perhaps a brush with the law. Things like that. Things that will not raise his suspicions. You can do that?
Sure. In for a penny, in for a pound, right?
Well, that's how you're going to get onto his crew.
Alright.
His crew slowly disappears. I vouch for you all. I'll put the words out that there is good talent in town. You'll frequent here. Navi's already set himself up as a regular. And oh, thank you for the raid. Thank you all. Welcome, welcome. Once they're out of the way, he'll be desperate. And he's been working on this job for a long time. Won't want to walk away from it. So, hopefully, he'll be so desperate that he'll take on newcomers onto his crew.
Alright. And he will look to the rest of the group and see anyone else's opinions.
Didn't do your work before than that, so yeah. We're gonna need names and descriptions.
I've got those for you.
Alright.
So,
I don't suppose you're hiring a cook, are you?
I haven't had a cook in years. It depends on how good you are. But I don't want to hire you until after this job is done. I don't want to be tied too closely, and if you go missing, I'll have gone through the onboarding process for nothing, so, you know.
I just figured it might have been an easier way to ingrain me in their regular circles, but you're right. Too close to home for you.
A little bit. So, up first. You have Raikonen's point person, Emery. As she describes Emery, you guys do recognize him. He is a drow of an elf, striking, sharp features. He was one of the individuals that you saw here previously, very finely dressed, he was the one. He's the one that seems to be Raikonen's closest ally. Probably the one that has the direct. He's probably the one that deals with Raikkonen directly, most often. Emery's the one that you're going to want to ingratiate yourselves to. Perhaps we can set up some form of false sting. We'll all jump in, rescue him, show off how capable you are. Now, Emery has been working very, very closely with Elude. Elude is the face of the operation. She's finely dressed and has a silver tongue, able to talk herself into or out of pretty much anything. And I believe she's the one that is going to be posing as some form of member somewhere, upper class. Somebody with a bit of class to her. Up next, you have OBS, the muscle. Don't know what the job is, but Emery's been footing his bill for weeks. Eats and drinks like a truck, like a horse, like a damned purple worm. But tremendously strong. Has to be something involved with that. He'll be difficult to put down, so if we can make that look accidental, or some form of sickness perhaps, something contagious, something that people won't want to get near him over, that would be key. Last but not least, you have Robs Alar. He is the wizard that I mentioned. Arcane spellcaster. Pretty high order. I don't know if he's necessarily learned in the spells that they're utilizing. Seen a lot of scrolls, a lot of wands coming through. Potentially some staves. So, whatever it is, definitely arcane spellcaster. Somebody skilled, able to work through some magic. Right? Now, Robs has a bit of a gambling problem, and we might be able to use that to our advantage. That's the crew.
And she gives us a physical description for each of these people as well, right?
Yes.
You don't have to.
Absolutely.
Right now,
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah. Emery. She gives. I had the physical description for Emery. The rest of them I will develop and come up with for you guys.
You're good.
So, you think you can fill those roles?
Absolutely. That was Matthew.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, easy peasy.
Good. Now, you have to be aware, there's always some bit of last-minute hitch Raikkonen likes to throw at his crews. So, he does it to keep them off balance, to keep them from doing the job without him. He's usually present, but at this point, only Emery would know if he was. So.
Alright.
Did we get her name? I'm so sorry.
So actually, you didn't.
I noticed that. I was like, oh.
Yeah, because if
I thought about it. And
well, that's the case. While
violence happened.
while she's chatting, I would like to channel divinity and detect thoughts.
Okay.
Neat.
I gotta try that. I gotta test drive this car.
Fuck
Let's go.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
It's a DC 15 Wisdom.
So I believe you get her surface thoughts for free, and if you're
Do I? I thought I had
without
to check for the
without the
thoughts.
save. Let me.
I think that's the case too. And if you want to delve deeper,
Yeah.
then
Do.
the save happens, and if she succeeds, she knows that you tried to do it.
Yes.
I could be wrong, but I think with the knowledge domain, I think that's the channel divinity, is that they don't notice if you do fail. I could be completely wrong.
Hold on. You can read thoughts. As an action, you choose a creature you can see within 60 feet. The creature has to make a wisdom save. If they succeed, you can't use it again. But if they fail, you can read surface thoughts.
Okay. Sounds good. So, wisdom save. 7 plus 5 for 12.
She fails.
Okay. Sounds good. As she's describing each of the crew, you do get a mental image of them. You get sort of her imaginings or thoughts or ideas of like what taking them out might look like. And also as she's describing the jobs, like when she's talking about Muscle, she's very clearly talking about Treasure, who is the Beefling, right? That is present. She believes Saride maybe without the armor could pull off the Chatterbox position. She doesn't. She's guessing maybe Narvi's the wizard because it's definitely not the guys with the bows, right? Narvi's wearing no armor and is creepy, so she's like, maybe he's a necromancer. That sounds right to
That
me.
would track.
Yeah, so she's kind of put him in that role, and in her mind, because she can see the bow on Clever Stitch wherever they are, and she's just kind of picturing like an alley, him being like up on a roof, maybe as a lookout, helping protect for the twist, She doesn't really have a spot in mind for Grizz and the Badger, but she's like, it's better to have. She definitely has the thought it's better to have more of them to cover whatever Raikkonen is going to throw. Yes, her name. Well, you guys can ask her name if you want. I'm sure you.
Well,
do.
when she thinks Raikkonen, what do I see?
She doesn't have a face for Raikkonen. Raikkonen is a sort of like shadowy Dr. Claw kind of figure. She definitely has like a silhouette kind of persona for him, but she doesn't know what he looks like. You press deeper.
I'd like to. I don't know that I can.
I mean, well, so this is mostly surface, right? That
Right. The channel divinity doesn't say that I can.
I mean, it's the spell, isn't it?
I'm just reading what D&D Beyond says.
You're good. You're good. That's yeah.
I'd love to. I'd love to absolutely, finger bang this chick's mind. But
Okay. We're gonna look it up because just to make sure I know what's happening here because it's new. So channel divinity. There's that. Read thoughts. Read thoughts. Access the creature's mind as commanded as an action. Choose one creature within 60 feet of you. Wisdom saving throw succeeds. If the creature fails to save, you can read surface thoughts, reflecting its current emotions, what it's actively thinking about when it's within 60 feet of you, and lasts for 1 minute. So you can't. So this, unlike the spell, you can't probe deeper. But like the spell, if you ask questions, you can draw to the surface things that she is. You can make her think about things, essentially.
yeah, I'm gonna keep it up while they keep talking.
Okay. So, Go ahead. So, where do you think we should begin? I think we do Emery somewhere in the middle. I think we first remove Obs. It's a bit dumb, and Muscle would probably be the easiest for Raikkonen to want to replace. Probably isn't specialized role, I would suspect. So
Yeah. I think orbs and then the face.
all right.
Probably last would be the wizard.
Okay. Sounds good. So Emery just before.
Yeah.
See if we can make some contacts with the different colleges, with the schools. See if we can get them to at least fake a bit of some way. Not much of a constabulary, but they do seem to regulate themselves. Hint. So that might be something.
Alright, sounds good.
As you're following her thoughts, and your minute is nearing its end, she does picture and think of a couple of elven headmasters that you think are run the school in some way.
This will last longer because it didn't say that it wouldn't.
Okay.
But it says I get a free use of suggestion.
It says during that time. This effect lasts for 1 minute. During that time, you can use your action to end this effect and cast Suggestion on the creature without expending a spell slot. Target automatically fails the saving throw against the spell. So if you would like to use Suggestion at this point, you can.
Yeah. Just be honest.
Ooh, that's a good suggestion.
Of course. Don't have any reason to want to mislead you, actually. Doing me a bit of a favor.
Fair enough. Alright, whenever... What sort of timeline do we think would work for this?
I think we've got till the 1st. Usually, changing of the season, Raikkonen will, most likely head west. Dragonopolis, probably. Unless he heads to the Isles.
Interesting. Alright. Alright, so a week it is. Thank you for your help.
You're welcome.
Where do we find Obs?
Obs comes in here and drinks most nights. And as soon as I drop the dilation spell, he'll probably be in here within a couple of hours. But can't do it here. Needs to be far from this place.
Alright. Grizz, are you entirely against using your skills for less than enjoyable meals?
You're talking about poisoning a man. That is a line. I will never poison a man's food.
Alright.
I realize that's the easy route. I knew I'd be asked at some point. Didn't realize it'd come up so soon.
I didn't either. To be fair, I've never asked somebody to poison someone else's food before, and I don't feel great doing it.
What if it's not poisoning, but rather cooking with ingredients that are maybe just a little far gone.
That's worse, and you know
That's-
it.
You are insulting the spirit of what it is I do. I will stab a man a dozen times in the back before I poison his food meal.
Fair enough. Fair
That's-
enough. Had to
if-
ask.
Listen,
What
if there's
did-
anything that's put me down on my ass, it's a bad souffle.
And it's never come from me.
What if someone else poisoned something that you'd worked on?
You are bending rules here.
Like Beckham. But I mean, I would never want to insult your integrity, because
If
God
I don't-
knows
if we
someone here
stop-
has to have some.
Look, if we stop talking about it, I've got what they call plausible deniability. I
Exactly.
don't want to. I don't. If any of you ever poison anything I make, I better not find out about it.
Why
That's
would
What
we?
if
that's the rule. That's
this man had a fall?
Then the floor is in trouble.
we're thinking a long fall.
Oh, well, that's a whole nother story. I just say again from personal experience, because gauging by her description of this man, I may have once or twice back home hit the ground and cracked the marble. We're not going to talk about it.
Fair. Well, if we want to keep him out of commission for a week or two, it'll just have to be a little extreme. Whether that's get him sick,
Oh
break
no!
his
So-
legs.
I had a brilliant idea.
I look at all of you and go, "We're not killing him."
I'd rather do that than poison him.
I had a brilliant idea. What if we post up something that there's like an eating contest, and then Grizz, you get to cook as much as you want, and it can be as fattening and as weird and disturbing as you want. And first prize is everything you've eaten is free. Otherwise, they have to pay for everything. So it's like the
Right.
ultimate dim sum. And this dim son of a bitch will just wander in, start eating, and because he doesn't have the coin, he'll just keep eating and eating and eating till he either explodes or makes himself sick. But definitely he's going to be out of commission for a while.
Where would we get the money for all those ingredients?
I've got money.
Fine. We're fine.
Let's think about how much you're saving by not having to hire a cook for this. I like this plan. Although I don't know what you're talking about cooking like weird ingredients, and he takes a bite of the octopus that he had cooked like earlier.
Please don't.
And
Please
then-
don't. We know where
You-
that's been.
You
This
weren't
is how we
complaining
find out.
about it with the pie earlier.
This is how we find out Grizz becomes a mind flayer.
What did you do? What was in the pie?
What's in the pie?
I thought you did. This was clearly in the pie. It was fish pie after I took an octopus. Like,
Oh.
She vomits. She just straight up vomits.
I also, Navi, I know you suggested killing the man. The only reason why I'm a little hesitant is that if we have to do that for someone else, I don't want all three of them to mysteriously get murdered in the streets. And then suddenly a new crew has appeared, ready to be hired.
if we have to kill any of them, it makes most sense with the gambler.
Yeah, that's true. Just some debt collecting gone wrong. Well, we have a week, less than a week. We have 4 days.
We also have some folks
Should-
we can
should be
ask
6.
back.
Right? Isn't
It's
it?
the 24th, right?
Yeah. So 6.
So 6 is the 30th.
Yeah.
And and then it happens on the 1st or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've also got some folks back at the Little Empire that can weigh in too,
Yeah.
see where their thoughts are.
I was thinking Fable might be able to take place of the wizard if we needed a. If we
I have a
needed
question about the silver-tongued girl, ma'am, if you don't mind.
No, go ahead.
Do you know what side her bread is buttered on?
I don't think I've ever served her bread. I'm not following the question.
If she were to go home with someone, what sort would she go home with?
The wealthy sort,
And that's all that matters.
as far as I can
Hey,
tell.
Benedict, you're in luck.
Benedict's frozen. He cannot respond.
Oh,
Hey, sweetie, you ever fuck a
I
badger?
forgot about that.
what about one as big as this one?
Just comes back around. Just one more lap, folks. Just one more lap.
So and he'll look to the bartender again. So you'll let us know whenever you've gotten in touch with Emery, right?
I'm not going to get in touch with Emery. I'm going to spread the word of your good jobs through all the other people. Let them tell Emery about it. Trust
Alright.
me. Raikkonen doesn't want to trust anything that comes out of my mouth.
Fair.
I
I
don't
wouldn't
suppose
either if
that-
I owed you 8,000 coin.
I mean, more than that.
I don't suppose that you've got any leads on smaller jobs around town. Something we could do that'd be verifiable.
I'll put my ear to the ground. Got something, I'm sure.
Hmm.
Besides, you were at least in here the other day asking about Kaskoth, right?
Yeah.
Seems he's turned up dead, so you have a bit of a success on your hands there.
Yeah.
Good. So, if you've done anything else in town, let me know, and I can spin yarns out of it.
Killed some mind flayers.
Really?
Yeah. Got rid of the nest.
Treasure pulls up her her hair.
Ew. Alright.
Sarai just points at the vomit.
If you unfreeze the badger, he'll clean it up for you.
She just prestidigitates it away. Yeah.
Yeah.
So no, she's not watching a badger.
Over the top.
Yeah, she's no, we're not. Mm-mm. So
I found some cards.
you finally found the cards you were looking for.
the very thin-lipped smile sort of comes up again.
All I'm picturing is I found my marbles from Hook.
No, because that's nice.
Yeah, that is kind of
This-
Excellent.
Lost me marbles. Sorry.
I think just for whilst all of this conversation is happening, I think not to derail it completely, but I do think knowing that there is some form of kind of information in these cards, I think whilst the information about sort of big mechanical things and sort of like espionage and all of this kind of stuff is happening, Navi tries to kind of concentrate on the cards and try and shuffle and puts one down on the table as if to kind of see if he can glean any information from it.
Are you attempting to cast augury through them?
So part of the kimono slightly. I probably know as much as Navi does about the cards currently. So
Okay.
if augury is a thing that we can do, absolutely.
Yeah, to message. Reach out to Mars. So he has the item entry. He wrote an actual full item entry for the Deck of Fate.
Perfect.
It is something that you can attune to, and it has some spellcasting abilities to it. So
Cool.
as far as just like flipping a card and kind of gleaning it, that's a storytelling device that I get to use, which is really awesome for me. So I'll give you an augury on this one. So what specifically are you looking to see if it's good or bad, or what course of action?
I think Navi's immediate reaction is to just go straight in for Obs. He knows that Obs is going to be sort of coming to this place. Would it be a good idea to catch him before he even enters the bar tonight?
I'm gonna say whoa. So no. So wheel is positive, whoa is negative. To try to catch him before he comes in, I don't think is a good idea.
Excellent. Good to know. And he kind of sort of, anyone who's watching sees a sort of marked kind of like slump to his shoulders, as he is. Yeah, it's a real kind of, oh right, okay, great. And he sort of enters the conversation again, probably at the point where he says, "Should we drop him from a high height?" Yeah. Sorry, just to completely derail for a second.
All right. So, is there anything else you guys would like to do at this point?
I'm so sorry. We've been so terribly rude. Didn't catch your name.
Trumtui.
Tui?
Trumtui.
From Tui?
From Tui.
Right, but and didn't ask where you're from. I asked what your name was. I used to be a bard. I used to be good at this. But I thought, where's my life gone?
Well, we'll be in touch, as will you, hopefully.
Sounds good.
And can I take a bottle of this to go? This is delightful.
No. And with that, time reasserts itself, and the bar begins to kind of move again. Benedict starts to move. The gnome starts to move. The bouncer does the pass-through wall, right? And arrives back on this side. So, next week, you guys ingratiate yourselves to Raikkonen by removing his crew and leaving him no other options than to work with this chaotic bunch of disasters and dangers. I hope you guys had a good night, a different kind of night, and always good to mix things up. Thank you guys so much for playing, and thank you to all the viewers. Thank you for the raid. Thank you for everybody that came and hung out, stuck around. We're gonna see you guys next time. Do follow all the socials at RepRPG for us to loop you in and let you know what our show schedule is going to be for the week. So we're going to see you guys next time. But until then, be cool.